I'm Rico Bobo, and this is Uncut News. Another daughter of Guyana has been murdered at the hands of her mate. Wednesday morning, 27-year-old Sati Jagmohan of Cotton Tree, West Coast Mabis, died a full 2 weeks after her husband savagely beat her, put a cutlass to her throat, and forced her to drink a bottle of poison. Before she succumbed, she was able to tell the police of the years of abuse from her husband, 28-year-old fisherman Ramesh Nandalal. On February 12th, Nandalal was charged with attempted murder during his appearance at the Blairmont Magistrates Court. But with Jagmohan's death, that charge may get upgraded to murder. But if you ask me, instead of wasting our taxpayer dollars on housing him for the next decade, they should have just thrown old Ramesh here on their ghost ship floating about and push him out to sea. And in other news, one Linden woman decided that she wasn't going to go down without a fight after her man pulled a knife out and put it to her throat and threatened to kill her. On Wednesday night, she came home to her house in Wisma to a set of questions about where she was all day. Well, the argument got heated, and at which point the man pulled out a knife on her. But she's from Wisma, and if you know anything about women from Wisma, is that they don't take threats lightly. And like some female Bruce Lee, she disarmed the fella and stabbed him in the lung. He then picked up a cutlass and broadsided her, chopping her finger in the process. They were both taken to the Linden Hospital, where the female was treated, discharged, and then arrested by the police, while her spouse was transferred to the Georgetown Public Hospital for surgery. Apparently, the GDF plans for border defense includes dishing out bare licks for any Venezuelan soldier who wants to take our land, as officer cadets just underwent equitation training conducted by the police's mounted branch. Well, if it isn't obvious from the pictures, equitation is just a fancy word for horseback riding. The training essentially prepares the cadets for mounted patrols in the interior of Guyana, particularly in terrain that does not allow for vehicular movement. Such patrols will also support the work of other members of the joint services. Yesterday, cops in Suriname handed over to the GPF 27-year-old Luzignan resident Janky Topsy, aka Samantha Khan. Topsy was wanted for murder and escaped lawful custody back in November 2020. Topsy has been identified as the mastermind in the gruesome murder of Lagrange businesswoman 85-year-old Bibi Ramjit on October 25th of last year. The woman, along with Risharam Singh, was captured for the murder. Singh is on remand. Topsy and Singh were nabbed in Naikiri, Suriname, and brought back to Guyana. The woman had originally escaped from a toilet at the Springlands police station shortly after she was arrested last year. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2018 Suzuki Swift RS Sports Edition. It comes with Bluetooth, CD, stereo, steering controls, crystal lights, mag rims, fog lamps, and much more. Pay cash for $3.6 million, or pay down as low as $720,000 with around $70,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Rico sent you for this sweet deal. A 36-year-old laborer was on Thursday sentenced to 4 years in prison and slapped with a $1.7 million fine for smuggling cocaine in a pack of fudge, while his 46-year-old reputed wife was freed of the same charge. Shaka Nunez and Vanika Williams appeared before the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where Nunez pleaded guilty and told the court that his wife is innocent and he didn't want to waste the court's time. According to police, Nunez was trying to smuggle over 3.6 kilos of coke hidden in boxes of fudge. He attempted to send the shipment to the United States through a DHL Express in Linden. Nunez was sent to prison while his wife was released. The ERC has taken 7 people to court for allegedly inciting racial hostility. The charges were filed under the Racial Hostility Act and for causing racial or ethnic violence or hatred under the Representation of the People Act. John Gobin, Lashana Chester, Stacey Smart, Glynis Gibson, and Tiffany Green were all fined after they pleaded guilty. Surendra Paul Ramsarad and Steve Anthony Baccarat pleaded not guilty. Baccarat will return to court on March 1st, while Ramprasad's matter was adjourned to March 19th. The ERC in the statement says it is working vigorously to stop the spread of racial incitement among Guyanese, especially on social media. But despite saying all this nice fancy stuff, Roshan Khan still remains a commissioner, even after repeated instances of him saying racially insightful comments on his Facebook page. Frankly, as long as Roshan Khan remains as an ERC commissioner, I will never respect the work of the Ethnic Farce Commission. Recklessly lashing down someone you just met is going to become a little less stressful, as Guyanese will soon be able to check their HIV status in the comfort of their own homes. The government is preparing to roll out a self-testing initiative later this year. The ministry will also be requiring more pre-exposure prophylactics treatment, also known as PrEP. These pills are given to people before exposure to the virus in order to greatly decrease their risk of contracting it. How's this for a bedtime story? Stupidity Bill spends thousands of dollars on new printer ink. Sensy Bill, on the other hand, refills his printer cartridges at Printfulness for just $1,000. He gets a 6-month, 100% money-back guarantee on every refill. Then the bucket band, and the story ends. Call or WhatsApp 667-0066, or visit them on Facebook at Printfulness Guyana. Don't be a Stupidity Bill. It's now time for today's Run Report. There are now 25 new cases. There's a total of 189 persons dead and 7 persons in the ICU, with 468 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 8,338. So, please people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. On Tuesday, JetBlue Airways issued a personal apology to the government of Jamaica after one of the airline's employees made a false claim that she was being held hostage. It was also disclosed that the American crew member at the center of the controversy, Kalina Collier, has since been fired. The stewardess was found to have lied about her experience at a hotel on the North Coast after testing positive for the Rona when she arrived there last month. She was scheduled to depart on February 1st, but she tested positive twice and was being quarantined by the hotel for 14 days. While there, she repeatedly posted several videos on social media in which she claimed she was being held against her will by people who were trying to traffic her. The claims had prompted calls on social media to boycott Jamaica. However, police called her claim baseless and mischievous. You can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way you can earn extra money at your business or to supplement your existing side hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy through Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. A police officer attached to the Parliament in Trinidad has been hospitalized after a bizarre accident outside the Red House in Port of Spain on Sunday. The incident, which was captured on tape, has since gone viral on social media. The man was attempting to leave the Parliament compound. However, as he was about to pass through the gate, part of the structure actually collapsed on him, pinning him to the ground. A security guard and 2 unidentified persons rushed to his aid and assisted in lifting the metal gate so he could roll from under it. According to Parliament, he has suffered no life-threatening injuries and is recovering well. And now for our weird news story of the day. Some Texans are calling for their Senator Ted Cruz to be blocked from ever returning to his state after he decided to go on vacation while his constituents are literally freezing to death. If you haven't been following the weather news recently, the people in the US aren't doing too well right now, as a record-breaking Arctic blast blanketed most of the country with snow and below freezing temperatures. The icy conditions have knocked out Texas's power grid, leaving millions without water or electricity for days across the state. As of yesterday, at least 24 people have died as their thinly walled desert homes have been turned into an icy hellscape that looks more like Moscow than Houston. And as all this chaos is happening, Ted Zodiac Killer Cruz thought yesterday was an excellent day to fly off to Cancun with his family instead of at least pretending to care about the public and the people he actually was voted to represent. Wow, and I thought our leaders here were cruel, but damn Ted, that's cold. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2021. Lenora Estate, West Coast MRR properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 or call +1 516-476-2172 for more info. Moving on to our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what do you think about the missing boat? Is this just an odd incident, or do you feel there is more to the story than we're being told? Shenzhen said, dead men tell no tales. Dan McCarty said, I have feelings that the Venezuelan government is part of the missing boat. Maybe they're trying to strive far into the fishing boat industry. Mastermind said, there's always more to a story when it comes to our beautiful Guyana and her people. And finally, Jenna J said, is Guyana most likely? It's being cobbled up like the Henry boys. Sad to say. Good answers, people. Before we get to tonight's question, these online shopping places take their minds and pass people a set of money they want per pound of merchandise. You will die when you try to ship parts for your truck. Thankfully, truck parts are already in Guyana at Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts at Lot 1161 EE Eccles. They stock spares for DAF, Bedford TM, international freight liners, and Cummins engines. Call or WhatsApp 697-0171 or follow Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts on Facebook. So for tonight's question, again, another woman has been killed by her spouse, and the one woman who actually did fight back got arrested. Well, in Trinidad, they're protesting the death of Andrea Barrett, while we here are, well, doing nothing. So, what should we as citizens do to make the government and the rest of the people of this nation actually take violence against women seriously? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Friday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.